Hello there, this is James S. Crofty, 1978, and before I begin, before anyone attempts to claim that as a British citizen I have no right to chime in on your politics and your elections, remember the Alan Greenspan truism that when America sneezes, the rest of the world catches cold? Well, given that our government is currently run by the British version of Trump, who is looking to Washington to get an idea of how much not fascist, not tyranny honest he'll be able to get away with, and who is begging to sign a post-Brexit trade deal that will essentially sell our NHS to American wealth care providers and turn Britain into the 51st state, I have almost as much invested as getting rid of Trump and his Republican enablers as you do. So that being said, the bottom line is that the 2020 election will be crisis management and prevention. It'll be controlling the raging inferno that is gutting your country and hopefully putting it out permanently before we even consider rebuilding. Because while it's true that Trump and his Republican enablers can't legally delay the election or deny people the right to vote, like so-called regulation of abortion in the red states, they can make it so difficult that millions will give up trying to do so and spread so many fear-mongering lies about it that MAGA hat-wearing defenders of freedom will be willing to protest, riot, throw petrol bombs, and shoot people who they hate in the head. Trump and his Republican enablers know that they can't win democratically, so they are willing to destroy democracy in order to stay in power, and the only way to stop them is to vote them out of office. Not by voting for some token also-ran third party. That's a meaningless act of privilege that will do literally nothing but make it easier for Trump et al. To cling to power. Instead, you have to hashtag vote blue no matter who, and alas, that means voting for Joe Biden. And yes, I know, I get it. I hate Biden as well. But like I say, your country is on fire, and you're complaining that the only fire extinguisher that you have to hand isn't the one that you would have preferred. And no, before you say that Biden will be just as bad, I will repeat what I said a moment ago in the hopes of finally penetrating your bitter resentment. Trump and his Republican enablers are willing to destroy democracy to stay in power, while Joe Biden isn't. Indeed, one of the reasons why we're all in this mess to begin with is that Democrats respect election results. Hillary and the DNC had the legal grounds on which to contest the 2016 election result, but chose not to do so because they actually respect the norms and hashtag civility on which the entire democratic process depends. And why? Because as long as we all respect the democratic process, we all get another chance next time. After 4 years of Biden, you will have another opportunity to choose a far superior candidate, especially if you spend those 4 years fighting to change the Democratic Party and the deeply broken American political system from within, while on the other hand, if Trump wins, you might lose your ability to vote forever, and no, that's not hyperbole, because Trump and his Republican enablers will undermine democracy at every possible turn, to the extent that even when you are able to vote, every result will be contested and condemned. On top of which, bearing in mind that it's almost literally a miracle that she's managed to survive this long, having already appointed Brett Boofer Kavanaugh and Neil Mayonnaise on white bread Gorsuch, if Trump is able to nominate Ruth Bader Ginsburg replacement, then even if, by some miracle, AOC is swept into the White House in 2024 by a blue wave that allows her to take all 50 states, the Supreme Court will still strike down every progressive policy that she ever signs into law. So with all due respect, my friends, get the fuck over yourself. This isn't about what we want. People are literally dead right now for no other reason than because Trump's presidency gave Nazis and other extremists the confidence to commit murder, and more people will die if Trump is not voted out in November. And as you struggle with the question of who to vote for and whether or not to vote at all, please bear in mind that clinging to your principles as your nation literally descends into fascism is no victory, while putting aside your principles for 4 short years in order to preserve democracy is no defeat.